Hello, I'm David Groninger here in Seattle, Washington, and the title of this talk is A Guidance System for Your Greater Good. A Guidance System for Your Greater Good. And of course, you're the one who defines what your greater good is, what you'd like to be, become, how you like to live your life, what you would like to be, do, or have. You're the one who decides that. And as far as a guidance system, you know, we all have our own ways of navigating through life, of making choices, of finding out if we're getting closer or further away to the things in life that we want. But I'd like to offer to you a guidance system that I've been using that has been helpful to me. And it's something that I call it the 1 to 10 chart. The 1 to 10 chart. And I'll show you what it is. I'll get this in front of the camera. Here's a large piece of paper that shows it here. And it's just a piece of paper that just shows the numbers that go from 1 to 10. And here's a very small, like a pocket-sized one, that I take with me everywhere I go. And again, it's just a little strip of paper that has the numbers 1 to 10. But where the 10 is, I put a plus, so that you can go as high as you want. And it's like a very subjective way of you might say, measuring where you are right now and where you want to go on a very general level in terms of your overall happiness, well-being, overall condition of life, and also can be used in the specific areas of life, like where are you, like how would you rate yourself in the area of your relationships or your family life or your personal health or your emotional or mental well-being or your financial well-being, your job, your career, your business, and whatever. So it's you can use it to help you identify where you're at in a particular area, and once you have a number that somehow signifies where you're at, then at least you can say, okay, let's say you're a 3, and you'll say, okay, well, how can I get to a 4? That's all. How can I get to a 4 and find a way that works in order to do that? So that's what this is. It's a scale of 1 to 10, and here's one of the ways that I use it. Periodically throughout the day, at random, I'll ask myself, where am I at right now? And I'll get out my little chart here, and I'll say, okay, maybe I'm a 6. So I say, okay, that's fine. Then I ask myself, where would I like to be? And since I kind of live in the human potential wavelength, and I enjoy that kind of stratosphere, I'm probably going to tell myself I'd like to be in the 10 and above wavelength. And again, this is a very subjective way of just somehow evaluating the possible conditions of life, you know. Well, so I'll say I'd like to be at a 10 plus. Now, if I'm at a 6, though, I might realistically say, okay, how can I get to a 7? Because by taking simple, concrete steps, for me, it works a little bit more stably to finally work my way up to a 10. Now, the way that I also use this, I start out my day looking at this 10 plus and saying, hey, I would like to be at a 10 plus, maybe a 20 or 30, or maybe I'll just say the number 10. And then when I'm looking at my to-do list, a to-do list either for the day, a monthly planner, a yearly planner, a lifetime planner, however you look at how you make choices as to how you're going to spend your time, I look at my to-do list and say, okay, well, what is it that I can do today such that I can get myself to the higher levels that I would enjoy living at? So my to-do list is not just a list of things that have to be done, but it's a list of things that have to be done or that I choose to do that are designed for a particular purpose of getting me to a greater feeling level. And one of the ways I start the day too is an exercise. It's called the Ideal Day Exercise, and I got it from an outstanding book, kind of an old book by the way, and it's called You Can Have It All. Maybe you can see it from the camera there. The book is written about 25 years ago. Well, there's a particular chapter on it, and it's called your ideal day exercise. So it's a way of starting out the day by asking yourself, how would you like to feel? What is the ideal feeling? What are the kind of things, how could you feel really great that day? Then you would say, okay, well, you go through the day and you attempt to replicate or attempt to conjure up or attempt to be at that feeling level. And it's a fun exercise, and it's very similar to this 1 to 10 chart, because it's like telling yourself in the beginning of the day, okay, throughout the course of the day, however I may go up and down and my energy may have various ups and downs throughout the day, and who knows, all the kinds of events and unexpected things in life happen all around us each day. But I'll tell myself I'd like to be at a 10, so I'll be going from maybe a 7, 8, 9, 7, and 8, different levels. But if I know that I like to be at a 10, then every time during that day that I recognize that I'm at that 10, I might stay there a little bit longer. Whatever I happen to be doing, maybe I'll spend just a little bit more time doing that, because I've recognized there's something in this activity, the person I'm talking with, the particular place I'm standing. Maybe I'm at a place that has a lot of fresh air, or maybe I'm at a health food restaurant, I'm eating some healthy food. Maybe I'm at a gym doing a workout. Whatever it is, there's something that's helping to support a high feeling. So I'm going to stick with that activity just a little bit longer. And conversely, if I find myself down at a 2 or a 1, or some unexpected series of events is just messing up my day, I might say, well, what is going on here, and how can I move myself up a bit? Somehow I don't want to continue to do these things that are somehow giving me a bad day. Maybe it's the way I'm interacting with people. Maybe I'm failing to see where somebody's coming from. I'm trying to enforce my point of view instead of listening to somebody else. Who knows what it might be? But if we know where we want to be emotionally, mentally, kind of a mindset, and of course this works on the physical and on the material level too, in terms of our bodily weight, how much money we'd like to have, the job we want, the relationships that we like. If we know what it is we want, and we know what that feels like, then from there we can find out if what we're getting in life in terms of our feeling and our results, we'll know how consistent or how close to our desired result that is. I'm going to show you one other very interesting chart that I got from a book called The 100-Year Lifestyle. And it's called The 5 Dominant Energy Patterns. And I think this is also available in a number of psychology books. But here you can probably see it here. And it's called the 5 Dominant Energy Patterns. And it starts out on the bottom with destructive patterns, survival patterns, complacency patterns, comfort patterns, and human potential patterns. Well, this little 1 to 10 chart that I carry with me, I have one in my car, one in my wallet, one by my telephone, one at my computer. So wherever I go, and one in my pocket I carry with me, I always have one of these things. It's very similar to this chart of the 5 dominant energy patterns, especially because in the area of human potential patterns, having a chart where you can continually see that there's a 10 plus, that there is virtually no ceiling in terms of the potential of where we can grow to in any part of life, material or non-material, the more we're aware of that, even in spite of the realistic condition that we're in, however comfortable or uncomfortable it might be, knowing that there's a place we can go gives us a way to make choices on how to use our time to get from where we are a little bit closer to that. One of the interesting things I've observed in our world around us, and I've looked at this in history for many hundreds of years of history, and worldwide too, it's the tendency of having a mindset that goes from like -5 to 0. In other words, rather than trying to go from 1 to a 10, it seems like there's a mindset that just looks at when things are really awful, how can we get them back to neutralize them again? How can we get back to a 0? You look at the health field, for example. If you get a doctor checkup, they might say, well, there's nothing wrong with you. I guess you're okay. Come back again next year for your checkup. In other words, you know, as long as you're a 0, you're fine. In my way of looking at things, no. I'd rather get a checkup and the doctor say, okay, there's nothing wrong with you, but we're going to work on getting a whole bunch of things that are going to be right with you. So by the time you come back here next year, there are going to be so many things so incredibly powerfully right with you that your health is going to be vibrant, outstanding, exuberant, etc., etc. Look at our prison system, you know, for example. It's a system whereby we take people who have deviated from the rules and laws, and maybe we call them in the negative level, and we want to get them back to 0 again, where they're not deviating and causing big infractions on rights because of breaking laws and stuff. So again, you're looking at a whole, you know, hundreds of thousands of people that are in this predicament that has been adjudicated as in the minus level, and now the idea is to get them back to 0. When they're back to 0, they're somehow normal. Even in the field of psychology and etc., you know, people tend to go there when they're feeling bad, not when they're feeling good. And the idea is that if they can get them to neutral, even by taking drugs or prescriptions, whatever, then that's like the goal. Well, the reason that I promote life coaching and also business consulting, coaching, consulting, success tutoring, and seminars, workshops, and books that have to do with going forward in terms of human potential, building up from where you are to where you want to go, is because so much of the mindset, so much of the paradigm on the way people tend to look at situations are that as long as it's a 0, it seems fine. And they'll only do something or take some action when things get really bad. Well, I'd rather try to build up to the point where I'm far above 0 and continuing to take actions to build and never stop building because of the mental exercise, of the challenge in it. And also, it's a lot easier to go from a 9 to a 10 than a -4 to a -3. You look at any part of life, like financially. If you have a lot of money in the bank, you have investments, you've got a lot of money in your retirement account, you're at a job or business that you enjoy, and that you enjoy creating better quality and quantity in what you're doing. You know, you're building the business larger, things like this. You know, it's easy to go from like a 9 to a 10 or a 10 to 11. But let's say on the other hand, you lost your job, you have bills that are not paid, more bills coming in, and money that you do not have to pay them. Then other things happening with your health, whatever. It's very, very difficult when you're in these kinds of situations because you have so much working against you. I'm a firm believer in drinking lots of water. So realize that if you just allow things to happen without checking in with yourself to find out where you're at and where you want to go, it's easy to fall in to kind of the way things are, or the general paradigm that you really don't have to be growing forward in life as long as you're not really unhappy, as long as you're not really, really sick, as long as you're not really, really poor and have horrible financial crises. There tends to be kind of a neutral or 0 that is deemed normal or acceptable. Well, my invitation to you is to make your normal not a 0, but make your normal a 10 and even plus. And however far you want to expand in your life, in every area of life, of growing, becoming more educated, more capable, more competent, and more fulfilled, that every level you're at, consider that your new normal. And don't compare yourself with others, because we've all come from different places, and we're all going slightly different places either. And if you compare yourself only with people who are having a bad time in life, then it won't give you much motivation to go forward in your own life. So, in closing, I'd like to say that I use a physical tool, this 1 to 10 chart, as a way to help me interact with the world around me in every part of my life, my working life, my personal life, whatever. And I do this because the world around us interacts with us on a physical way, in the sights and sounds and people. And so in order for me to find out how I'm doing and how can I do better in this world, by having a physical tool, something I can carry with me as a little pocket reminder, or you might say as a compass. You know, people have a guidance system they have on their car to help them get to where they want to go geographically. Well, this 1 to 10 chart is like a guidance system, or kind of like a compass for your well-being. It's a compass for feeling good. It's a compass for getting to to higher conditions of living. And that's what it is. It's like a compass for that. It's like carrying this around you so that you're pointing yourself toward greater fulfillment, greater happiness, and greater health. So that's been this talk, a guidance system for your greater good, and you're the one who defines your greater good. You're the one who picks whatever kind of guidance system you use, and I'm offering this, the 1 to 10 chart, merely as a suggestion, because it's a tool that I use in order for me living a bit more of a happier life here on planet Earth. This is David Groninger in Seattle, Washington, saying thank you very much.